Joshua Weissman, a fellow YouTuber, just informed me that Fettuccine Alfredo is as Italian as Cinco de Mayo is to Mexicans. Guys, my mind was blown. The more research I did, the more I realized Fettuccine Alfredo is as American as it gets. It's basically like the good old American hamburger of pastas. This is a tribute video to our creamy and delicious dish that we all love that we once thought was Italian. If you stick around until the end, you'll get to meet his original Italian counterpart, Fettuccine al Burro. You guys ready for this? Let's go. In proper fashion, we're going to begin with the fettuccine. In a bowl with 1.5 cups or 204 grams of all-purpose flour, add a half a teaspoon of salt. In a side bowl, crack 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks. Make a crater in the flour to welcome the eggs. Well, that didn't work out. Oh well, maybe next time. To avoid having your hands completely covered in eggs and flour, I use a wooden spoon to start mixing until the flour absorbs all the eggs. When everything appears to be incorporated, use your hands to begin working the flour and egg mixture. At first glance, this dough will look really dry. Extremely dry. Don't worry, just keep going. Transfer all the contents from the mixing bowl onto a flat surface where you will keep kneading the dough for at least 8 minutes. For some reason, 8 minutes is a magic number and will transform your crumbly and dry dough into a silky and smooth dough. It's like 8-minute abs. 8-minute abs work, 7-minute abs are impossible. At this point, if you notice that your dough is still super dry and it's not coming together, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of water to the dough. A little goes a long way, so don't go crazy. And back to the kneading. As you can see, this is not for the faint of heart. It's hard work, but it'll be worth it in the end. Back to work. After 8 minutes of kneading, at least 8 minutes, all your hard work should be paying off at this point. Your dough should be coming together nicely and it should be as smooth as silk. Wrap the ball of dough in plastic wrap and allow it to rest at room temperature for at least 1 hour. The rest is crucial because it will give the glutens in the dough a chance to relax. To put it into perspective, if you're working out without stretching, there's a greater chance that you can rip, tear, or break something because your muscles are not warmed up. Same thing with the dough. While we wait for this dough to rest for about an hour, let's make our authentic Italian Alfredo sauce. Into a pan, add a half a cup or 113 grams of unsalted butter and 1 cup or 236 grams of heavy cream, and allow it to simmer for 1 to 2 minutes. Add 2 cloves of minced garlic, half a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. If you don't have Italian seasoning, it's a mixture of oregano, marjoram, thyme, basil, and parsley flakes. Super Italian, right? After mixing all of the ingredients, you're going to add freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Use real cheese and not the grated imitation cheese, because imitation cheese will not melt. Another reason why you shouldn't be using pre-grated Parmesan cheese. Do it yourself. It's easy and cost-effective. Mix until all of the cheese is melted. A good test to see if your sauce is done is the spoon test. If you're able to see a trail behind your spoon or spatula, it should be good to go. Back to the pasta. After an hour, unwrap the dough and you will notice that the glutens had a chance to relax and get friendly with each other. The dough should be more pliable than it was before. Cut the dough into 8 equal pieces, pizza pie style. With a rolling pin or a wine bottle, flatten the dough so it's thin enough that you could put through the pasta maker at the thickest setting. On the thickest setting, pass the dough through twice and then on to the next setting. I like to do 2 passes on each setting just to make sure that the dough doesn't shrink on me. It's like going for a massage. After your massage, you should feel relaxed and not tight. If your muscles are still tight, well, find another masseuse at that point. When your dough is about 1 millimeter thick, flour it and put it off to the side while you roll out the rest of the pieces. Now for the fun part. With a pasta attachment or by hand, you will transform the dough into fresh pasta. On my attachment, I have an option to make fettuccine or angel hair. Look how perfect this is. Roll into an adorable ball for a clean look and finish the rest of the dough. In a pot, fill with water and generously salt, more than usual. When the water has come to a roaring boil, put the pasta in. This is fresh pasta, so it will cook quickly. As opposed to dry pasta, which could take anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes, fresh pasta cooks in 60 to 90 seconds. Once your pasta is floating, remove from the water using tongs or a spoon with holes, whichever method works for you. It actually worked out in our favor that we kept the water because I made a makeshift double boiler for our Fettuccine al Burro. Keep the water boiling to keep the bowl warm and add 3 tablespoons of butter and a half a cup or 45 grams of parmesan cheese, a pinch of salt and pepper to taste. Begin mixing until all the cheese and butter begins to melt. At some point, slowly drizzle in about a quarter cup or 60 milliliters of water. The pasta water will help make an emulsion. Look at the creamy goodness. Transfer to a bowl, sprinkle or grind a pinch of nutmeg, twirl onto a fork and enjoy. It's Alfredo time. Into the sauce you already made, add a portion of fresh pasta and a splash of pasta water. Mix until everything is creamy as. Transfer into a bowl and top with some Parmesan cheese. Bon appetit.
Friends, there you have it. We made a homemade fettuccine pasta, which is gonna cost you pennies on the dollar, and I will bet you those pennies that it will compare to any Italian restaurant in taste and in cost. To that, we made a creamy Alfredo sauce and Alfredo's real Italian cousin, Fettuccine al Burro. My vote goes to Fettuccine al Burro. The taste was phenomenal. It was so creamy from the butter and salty from the Parmesan cheese. The nutmeg on top was a very special touch. If you looky and you likey what you see in this video, hit the like and subscribe button, jiggle that bell to be notified of future videos. As always, thank you for checking out Rafal Loves Food, and we'll see you soon.